We have 4 games left, and I looked and I'm like, wow, actually, all 4 of them are half decent. So we will go with probably the worst game of the remaining 4 to get it out of the way here.
Arizona.
No,
Oh.
that's on tomorrow's. That's an AFC game, I think. Browns at Rams. So I have Flacco in. I don't think DTR is going to play. They have
No, it's going to be Flacco.
12th best matchup for Flacco. Want no part of that. Worst matchup for Stafford. I want no part of that. I don't have Flacco currently ranked, but when I do, he's going to be like 22. He's going to take the spot I have that DTR's at, which is like 22.
Yeah.
And Stafford is my lowest ranked non-Bryce Young player. He's 19. And then after that, okay, so he's one behind Derek Carr. Behind him are only Bryce Young, Levis, Browning, Walker, and the rest of the shit sacks. So that tells you how I feel about Stafford. So.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, Flacco's right behind Bryce Young in the rankings. It's like Bryce Young, the last, I guess, starting quarterback, and then it's just dumpster fire. So it's like, all right, Joe Flacco, you've been the best of these guys in the past. By the way, he's going to check it down a bajillion times. So this is really good news for like Ford and Hunt and David Njoku. We'll talk about it in a second. But like, he's got the quickest release in the NFL. He's not going to want to get hit. He's old, man. His bones hurt. So he's just going to two-step drop. He's going to get the ball. Like, that's what he's going to do. He's a pass rush. So, yeah, expect super low ADOT and all that.
This is why I hate fantasy football. Can you look at the rankings for quarterback? 21 to 29 are Levis, Browning, Walker, Ritter, DTR, Flacco, Zappy, Jones, and Tim Boyle. What is going on?
What's going on is Lamar is off, and there's who else? Josh Allen is off. Like, there's a bunch of high-end guys who are just sitting on their ass this week, no fault of their own. So,
well, injuries too. We've got Jets missing a quarterback. Although the Jets quarterbacks have been so bad that Aaron Rodgers has taken something out of his mystery bag there and has got him back practicing after tearing his ACL. So
he's on some voodoo magic, Aaron Rodgers.
He doesn't move anyways. Let him go back out there. It's not like
of course he does. That's his whole game. His whole game is moving enough. He's Tom Brady light. He can move enough.
Tom Brady didn't move either. Tom Brady was a statue.
Tom Brady moved a ton, just within a phone booth, you know.
Right. Quickly, we're gonna see Aaron Rodgers' release is gonna be a half a second when he comes back. He's like, "Nope, this line's terrible. I'm getting the ball out immediately."
Remember Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, all right, get it out. No, you're not touching me.
Okay, so it's crappy matchups for both running backs as well. 25th for the Browns, 20th for the Rams. Having said that, I'm probably still starting 2. I have got Kyren Williams at 13 and Jerome Ford at 20. So I still have 2 RB2s here. I feel like I might move Kyren up a little because I have Mostert ahead of him, but I'm not confident in that. Just goes to show you how much faith I have in Zach Moss. Good God. Thoughts?
So this is Kyren's role. Like, he came back and was like, "Hey, guess what, guys? I'm by far the best running back of this team. Kick these scrubs off the roster. Give me all the touches." So like, that's what Kyren does, and he fits that scheme perfectly. Like, I think that was the undersold part about Kyren is like his fit in the scheme and offense they run fits his skill set like ideally. So that's why he's getting all the touches. It works really well. On the flip side, we're talking about like Ford is much higher ranked than Hunt just because he gets all the passing work and he's going to get a ton of checkdowns in this game. So Ford's top 20 for me. Kyren's top 12. He's right behind David Montgomery. So I'm confidently starting both these running backs. The matchups aren't great, but I really don't care. Like, the volume in the role is good enough. So we're right with them.
I really don't want Kyren to play well in this game because he did what he did against Arizona, and it's a great sell high moment, but you just can't deny the role. Right. Stafford is going to continue to check down. He saw 6 targets last week and converted that, scored 2 touchdowns through the air. I mean, he's just going to be, he's not going to score. He's not going to be the RB1 like he was last week, every single week going forward, but he could be an RB1 every week, especially on that volume. So yeah, fire him up for sure.
Good God. Running back's just as ugly as quarterback. Like, my top 15 includes Kyren Williams, Jerome Ford, Zach Moss. What are we doing? What has happened? This season's drunk.
Oh, God. Every season is drunk for sure. That's what it is, though. When you're on running back, that's why I hate them, and I try not to draft them unless I'm forced to. So,
wide receiver, 20th best matchup for the Browns. They have Flacco at quarterback. Second worst matchup for the Rams, who have Stafford at quarterback. This is ugly. I'm pretty sure Nacua is easily my highest ranked guy here. Nacua is 16 for me. I have Kupp at 22. I have Amari Cooper at 30, and then the rest fall off the planet. Eli Moore down at 42. So my highest ranked guy is Nakua at 16. That tells you how I feel about these quarterbacks and matchups.
Yeah, I don't know why people seem to be so down on Puka lately. Like, he's just been better than Kupp since he's been back, and he's just the metrics and everything's good. He's just not scoring as many fantasy points. But Kupp's not really doing anything for you. But yeah, those two, it's so much higher than Amari Cooper. I really don't want Amari Cooper. Like dealing with that injury coming off, like he's supposed to play, but it just seems treacherous to play him this week. And yeah, so like those two, I think Kupp's 39 for me. I'm really worried actually about Kupp. So he's a lot lower than I expected to have him, but is what it is. And then we get down to like the Elijah Moore, who's like 50 if you really want to take a dart throw on somebody who's going to be getting short, underneath, intermediate stuff. That's like the thing is Elijah Moore has just been awful. Like he's been really bad with any metric you look at. So it's really hard to have confidence in him this year. But yeah, he's top 50 for me. So, fire him up, I guess, if you're really desperate.
No, that's what I was going to say is that, Nakua by far is the number one ranked guy, but Elijah Moore could be the number one guy by the end of this game. You just don't know. Kupp is obviously injured. Nakua, we're just, we've seen him fall off the cliff. Tutu Atwell led the team last week on 3 targets. So it's just a mess over there right now. It's not going to get any better against the Browns. I will desperation flex Elijah. But otherwise, it's not looking great.
That is easily the best analysis I've ever heard you do of a game. I was frozen the whole time, didn't hear a word of it. Didn't hear a fucking thing you said. I froze sometime around, I think you were talking about Eli Moore. I don't know. I heard Elijah Moore. That's it.
I'm glad you didn't hear. I was shit talking you the whole time, so
that's
I'm glad it didn't come through.
I just assumed that, but that's all right. That's all right. All right, moving on to the tight ends. We have probably the best player to own on the Browns right now. David Njoku gets the 6th best matchup, and the worst for Higbee, who I'm going to say this. If you have Higbee, check to see what Jeremy tweets out before the game. If he shit talks Higbee, fire him up. If he doesn't, leave him on your bench because it's the worst matchup. So
Good point. Two touchdowns on the season for Higbee. Both came last week immediately after I was crap talking him on Twitter. So
I have Njoku at 10 and Higbee at 22.
Higbee caught 5 balls. Higbee caught 5 balls on 5 targets for 29 yards last week. What are we doing here?
He's efficient. Beautiful. It's beautiful. That's Tyler Higbee in a nutshell right there. Right?
Jesus.
Please tell us where Tyler Higbee hurt you, please.
Yeah, for real.
In my lineups. Okay,
so kickers, 7th best matchup for Dustin Hopkins, who's been the best kicker on the season. He is the best D-Hop in football, and the 3rd worst matchup for Haversick. So we are firing up Hopkins, and we are benching Haversick. You like that, eh? Best D-Hop in football, eh? So defenses. Good matchup for the Rams. I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to play Flacco. I don't think Flacco turns the ball over that much. He's just going to check down the shit out of this. So if I look at my rankings here, I have the Rams at 9 and the Browns all the way down at 18. I don't really want to start either of these. My gut tells me I'd rather start the Browns, but that's because I love the Browns defense. I don't know. I don't know why the Rams are such a bad matchup for DSTs. Stafford turns the ball over a ton. I'm not sure why it's such low fantasy production, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, like I'm much like the weird thing with Flacco is like I just don't expect him to get many yards. So he'll check it down, but I don't expect him to score a lot of points with him this week. It's his first week back. He's been just chilling, living the good life, been doing whatever he's been doing. And then he's like, hey, we need a starting quarterback. Okay. Flacco's like, sure, fire me up. We'll see what I got. I don't feel good. I really the only guy I want is Njoku on like the Cleveland side and Ford, like those two. But Njoku's going to see like a bajillion targets, like no doubt. Like he's going to see all the targets. So yeah, like those two, nobody else.